As we all stay home, don't forget to stay active, stay cuddly, stay distanced, stay healthy, and stay comfortable. At Skechers, we know you have a lot of worries. Our machine washable, comfortable shoes shouldn't be one of them. To find the most styles and best values, visit Skechers.com.
Welcome to Showy Bike Rider Television. Today we're out exploring our backyard. It doesn't get any better than this. We're out on the Honda ST1300, or Pan-European if you want to use its European style logo. It is the original Silk Road Express. It's smooth, it's comfortable. It's not a little bike, it's 330 odd kilos, so it's a considerable chunk of metal, but it feels effortless. Anything you ask it to do. We're at the end of a unsealed road, no problem. You have to take into account that it's a big, heavy bike and not get yourself overcommitted when you're in gravel roads. But the ride up here was absolutely gorgeous. The scenery was magnificent. All my gear's packed in there, nothing on my back, and a few clouds starting to gather. If it rains, you just pop the little screen up, instantly into your little bubble. It's quiet, it's pretty much dry, and it's all good. Honda have been making these things for donkey's years, really. They started out as an 1100cc. You saw them as police bikes. You saw them all over the planet, eating up the big miles. And that is what they're designed to do. It's a formula that's been refined. It's got to the stage now where I don't think there's much they can do to make it better at its given job. Now, propelling this big girl along is one of the longest serving engines in the Honda fleet. It's a V4, but it's longitudinally mounted versus the new VFR 1200, which is the transverse V4. It's not all about horsepower of one of these things, but it still pumps out 110, 115 horses. It's shaft drive, it's ABS, it's got linked ABS actually, and even these little wings on the front, they're not there for decoration. It's one of those bikes that's evolved. That little wing is doing two things. It's hiding your crash bars, and the other thing is it's giving you a less slab-sided profile if you're in crosswind. It sits as stable as you ever get a bike to be. Out on the open road, it's one of those bikes that you can do 200, 300, 400 Ks, because you'll get 400 Ks easily out of a tank on this. You stop and you ask the pillion if they want to get off. How often do you actually get someone that says, no, I'm fine, thanks? It's that comfortable. All your gear, it's nicely done. The panniers, they're big enough for any full-size helmet, full face, and they're easy, they're classy. Another kind of handy thing, they're absolutely totally waterproof. In the cockpit, it's a nice place to be. If you've got a pillion there that's not your 45 to 50 kilo lightweight, or you've got lots of luggage, which you can blame instead, you can adjust your headlight so that you're not annoying all the cars coming towards you. The dash lights, you can dim them. If you're on a nice wide open road, it's a nice night, the screen up, quiet, cruisy. You don't want to be dazzled by your dash, you can just crank it down a wee bit, enjoy the peace and quiet. Styling wise, everything's integrated, it all works well, it flows. The mirrors, they're excellent. They look a little bit weird down there, but the view you get is unobscured, and it goes straight underneath your hands, and you can see the whole wide wheel behind you. Very cool. And summing up, it's your consummate tourer. It's able to keep up with bikes that are far more sporty, but you do it in comfort. I went around the loop, our favourite little backyard block, 400 Ks I suppose I did with a pillion. Got to the end, I put 20 litres of fuel in it because it does 20 Ks to the litre, and I was ready to go back around the other way, which I proceeded to do. There's a reason they call it a Pan-European. I mean, you can cross a continent on it, stopping just for gas. New Zealand's a breeze. So how much does it cost for an ST1300? You're looking about $24,525 for the base model. But once you've got it, it's set up, it's awesome. It's all you're ever going to need to tour on.
Okay, well, here's the ST1300. This is the bike I ended up with after pretty much deciding of one of three bikes, the FJR by Yamaha and the Kawasaki Concours. This is the bike I eventually got, and a lot of the decision buying this bike had to do in some part to the fact that I already have a Supersport, the GSX-R 750. So I didn't really want a whole bunch of overlap going on here. I didn't really need a high adrenaline kind of super high horsepower that kind of bike, because I already have it in this bike here, which is way faster than I can possibly use anyway. So I've read just about every review, seen every YouTube video, heard everything there is to hear about those three bikes in question. Another two bikes that were in the same kind of grouping, the BMW 1200, I think it is, and the Triumph Sprint GT were not available in my town, that small town that I live in. In fact, there was just one ST, one Kawasaki, and one Yamaha FJR in the whole town. So I pretty much had the decision between the three. Now, the only advantage of all the reviews and everything I've read about these three bikes is that the increased horsepower of the Yamaha and the Kawasaki. But it's really kind of a deceptive thing because, you know, if you really look at the dyno charts of these bikes, up to 6,000 RPM, they're almost identical. And beyond that, I'm telling you, this bike is plenty fast. You probably will not be using unless you're kind of if I had one bike to choose and could only keep one bike, I'd probably go for the Kawasaki because of the, if you do want to do a little bit more enthusiastic riding. I don't know why anybody would want to go that fast on a bike that big, but it could be done. But let me tell you, after riding this bike about 1,000 kilometers now, this bike is plenty fast, tons of passing power. There's not even an issue as far as the horsepower. So once you take the horsepower out of the equation, and the torque figures are pretty similar to these bikes. In fact, this is probably the best low-end torque bike of the three. But once you take that horsepower and torque ratings out of the picture, this comes out as the superior bike for what I want, which is a comfortable long-distance touring bike. Any other parameters you look at, brakes, either the best or as good as any of the other two bikes. Wind protection, number one, no question. As far as comfort and seating, it's a huge seat here. You got lots of room. Ergonomics, probably the best. Gas mileage, even though it's the heaviest bike, comes through with the best gas mileage. I'm getting about, in imperial gallons, about 46 miles to the gallon, which is better than my Gixxer. So, which I was and have been using as a cruising bike. Lots of luggage space. Very smooth power delivery. There's definitely no drama involved in a bike like this. You just go faster and faster as the revs pick up and the throttle opens up. Really quiet, nice stable airflow. This thing will go up about 7 inches, but I'm using on the lowest level because that's
what does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They weigh me down.
I don't know, when you're on a bike, you want to hear the wind. If you put it at the highest level, there is zero wind. You're in sort of...
Need a professional website? I created one for our startup using Wix. Let me show you how I did it. First, go to Wix.com. Our startup is constantly evolving, and we need a website that can do the same. We use Wix Video to showcase product demos so users can learn all about our app. Let the adventures begin. With Wix Blog, we can share industry news and updates about
What is that?